Do you remember, guys, the good old days of NASCAR Heat Evolution, NASCAR Heat 2, NASCAR Heat 3, where I was constantly saying one thing: physics, 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 physics. For longtime subscribers of the channel, you know just how much I have really complained about the physics of the NASCAR Heat games. Well, this is going to be the biggest video so far for NASCAR 21 because we are talking about the core of the game, something that we know was going to change. We knew that. We knew there was going to be a new game engine, but now we got, oh my goodness. To say that I might be in video game heaven at the moment might be an understatement. It's a proud moment, honestly, for me, because I am now looking at a company that will be making a NASCAR console video game that is finally heading in the direction that I have been begging for them to go in for the last 5 years of speaking with them. So what am I talking about? We have a lot to go over now. First up, Motorsport Games has entered a binding term sheet to acquire Studio 397. The acquisition will see Studio 397 continue to work on its R-Factor 2 while also developing the physics and handling models for Motorsport Games' forthcoming projects. Now, what is R-Factor 2? I would love to say I've played it before and driven that simulator. I have not. I've not driven that simulator, so I do not have a first-hand experience of it. I have heard of R-Factor 2. I have heard of many people praise R-Factor 2. But the thing for me is that it is a straight-up simulation. It's not like iRacing has NASCAR stuff and all that. No, R-Factor 2 is straight simulation, just completely focused on, you know, the feel of driving a race car. And so it is like, how do you want to say it? It's like Microsoft, you know, plane simulator, basically. Like there's nothing around it. It's just you driving the car. There's no like career mode or no arcade. No, just it is straight simulation. Now, it was released for Windows in 2012, and it is modified and used by professional racing teams for driver training and race car development. A lot of professional racing teams around the world. I'm not really necessarily talking about NASCAR. I'm talking about a lot of the teams in Europe, Australia, Asia, a lot of different motorsports, different forms of motorsport, a lot of touring series, a lot of road racing, sports car racing. They use R-Factor 2, or they use aspects of R-Factor 2 into their own simulators, their own built-in simulators, their custom simulators. So a lot of what R-Factor 2 has influenced a lot of what these professional racing teams use to have driver development on hand for their professional drivers. So what does Motorsport Games acquiring Studio 397, what does that have to do with NASCAR? Well, first of all, I'm going to point you off to an exclusive interview done on the new Traxion GG channel. And so it involves Paul Coleman of Motorsport Games, Marcel Offermans of Studio 397, and Tom Harrison Lord of Traxion GG. Watch that fully. I'll leave the link in the description below. You can watch that, and you'll get an idea of why I am now just insanely excited. If you don't want to watch and just want a quick summary, Paul talked about how they have worked on the new NASCAR game for over 2 years. That puts the development of this NASCAR game pre-NASCAR Heat 4. So even before NASCAR Heat 4 came out, we're talking about the Motorsport Games and specific people within 704 Games already working on this reboot of the NASCAR series. Obviously, NASCAR Heat 4 came out. Then NASCAR Heat 5, there was no changes. So now we're entering into the year after NASCAR Heat 5, so it does fit the timeline that they've been working on NASCAR 21 for over 2 years. However, this agreement to acquire R-Factor 2 and Studio 397 has just come now, which is pretty late in the development of the game. Does this mean like R-Factor 2 physics is coming to consoles? No, that's not what I'm saying here. The big part of this interview is Paul speaking about the direction that he wants Motorsport Games to go to, and the direction he wants the NASCAR games to go to. And he even talked about his president, which is Stephen Hood, who also tweeted, if we're going to make racing games, we want them to feel good. So that's the president of Motorsport Games, who just acquired the NASCAR series, talking about how they really want this heading into a simulation. And Paul talked about this in the video. He basically said we are heading towards that simulation feel, but he also said we want the assist, you know, to really get in there as well. And partnering with Studio 397 will help them for all of their games, not just NASCAR. We're also talking about BTCC. We're also talking about they just acquired Craft Kart or the karting simulator. They acquired that. We're talking about more motorsport games that will be probably coming. And if you guys know what I'm talking about, you probably know. It's like the little hidden secret here, not even a secret, is that IndyCar doesn't have a game. and we might be heading into a direction where Motorsport Games might try to make an IndyCar game. They're all going to be simulations first. It's going to be the hardcore esports level guy, or even the hardcore gamer who doesn't want to get involved in esports. These games are going to be designed for simulation, designed so you, with your wheel and pedals, or even with a controller, can feel every bump, feel your tires, feel the track, feel the right physics, feel where what changes you have to make to the setup. Just the natural, sport that is motorsports. You can feel everything in that car and translate that to the game, which is something we have not seen in NASCAR Heat. In NASCAR Heat, it was more towards the casual. It was more towards the arcade-ish. Drop the price down $50, or drop the price down to $50 and kind of try to push certain features. We're heading in a direction where now we're really focusing on the core physics and simulation of the game. Like I said, this does not mean R Factor 2's physics are going into the NASCAR game. R Factor 2 is widely known to have probably the best physics, the best tire model out of any simulation out there. We all know iRacing's tire model right now, for NASCAR specifically, is just downright broken. R Factor 2 has been praised heavily for their tire model. Again, I cannot talk about it because I have not been on that simulation, but a lot of people that I know and a lot of people that have talked about it's no joke. Tire model physics are fantastic. So Motorsport Games will be getting a lot of advice, a lot of recommendations, a lot of feedback from Studio 397. They will probably look at their at Motorsport Games NASCAR game. They'll look at it. They'll get a feel for it. They might give little hints and a lot of note sharing, a lot of information sharing. But this news, all this news does is basically confirm to me, I had my nagging doubts. What is NASCAR 2021 going to look like? We know there's a new game engine, but how much of a sim are they going to go for? Or what are they really going to do? This puts the icing on the cake, the confirmation, the lick the envelope and send it over to wherever you want. NASCAR 2021 and the future of the NASCAR series under Motorsport Games, which I have been saying for months. I am very happy I saw Motorsport Games come in and take over the NASCAR series. This is going somewhere. I'm not hyping up NASCAR 2021 and saying it's going to be the best game ever, best racing game of all time. No. I am telling you guys what I am hyping up is this isn't the NASCAR Heat series. And I see that a lot. I see a lot of skepticism. Oh, it's just going to be NASCAR Heat. It's going to be a little bit different from NASCAR Heat, but it's going to be similar, arcade-ish. No. This is going to be very, very different. Very, very pushing the boundaries of realism, while also trying to get assists in the game so everyone can still play it. The money is there now. The backing is there. The direction is there. All the heads of the company are coming out and now talking about how simulation is the focus of their company. They want, if they're going to make a racing game, it's going to be, first of all and foremost, a racing game. It's not going to be some kind of arcade-ish, Mario Kart-ish, kind of just weirdish kind of game that the NASCAR Heat games were known for. They were just known as arcadey, known as just being really, let's be honest, not very good. They didn't look that great. They didn't play that great. Times are changing, my friends, and I cannot tell you how, I just can't tell you how excited I am for when NASCAR 2021 comes out to see the base of the game. I do want to say, don't go expecting a full-blown career mode, full-blown paint booth, full-blown all this. Don't expect that. I'm not expecting that. I'm expecting probably downgrades or just not that deep of features within career mode. I am so excited just to see what the game is like. I'm so excited to see the graphics. I'm so excited to see the physics. I'm so excited to see the tire model. What kind of information will the setups be like? What kind of information and feedback will you get while you are racing? How will the AI on oval racing within NASCAR, and this is something Paul talked about in the video, how will the AI now behave as they're going to go to R Factor 2? They're going to go to Studio 397. They're going to ask for feedback, maybe get some advice here or there on what they could do to improve the NASCAR Heat 5 AI, which was already pretty good and not a great game. The AI was a good part of that game, though. What can you do to make the AI even better? But now when you drive, you're going to really feel the power and the feel of a stock car. If NASCAR goes back to 750 horsepower, the games can't control that. It's just, can't really do 500 horsepower, NASCAR. Can you please, maybe bump the horsepower up in real life? Thank you. If you don't believe me, believe Fernando Alonso, who's a stakeholder in Motorsport Games. He's delighted. He knows R Factor 2. Even if Fernando Alonso says the feeling of driving offered by R Factor 2 is second to none, I'm gonna believe Fernando Alonso, okay? I'm not gonna believe you. I'm not gonna believe me. I'm not gonna believe anyone else. I'm gonna believe one of the best race car drivers in the world when they say that. So I think we're in good hands, guys. In the end, guys, I don't want to come off as saying I'm hyping up the game to levels it can't reach. I'm trying to tell you guys just I am so excited because you guys know, longtime subscribers, you guys know just how bad I want the physics to be good. I have struggled with the physics of the Heat series for 5 years. 5 years. I have not been very happy with the Heat series physics. And just to see this all coming together, I saw it right at the beginning when Motorsport Games took over the NASCAR series, and I was like, I like this. And then I saw the direction, I saw what the president was talking about, I saw a certain just language that was being used, and I was like, I like this. And then the new engine was coming in, we got confirmation there'd be a new engine. I was like, I like this. And now we're getting R Factor 2 involved, and that company's now under the Motorsport Games umbrella. And you have to look at all the companies that are getting under Motorsport Games from all different areas of the world. They're all going to be giving each other notes. They're all going to be working in their own games while trying to improve each other, all under Motorsport Games as a company being the umbrella for everything. The NASCAR series that is coming this year is going to be so exciting for me just to see what the game's going to play and feel like. And I know you guys are going to be excited too. If you guys aren't into simulation racing, do not worry. They're going to be working on assists to make sure that, like for example, traction control, stability control, any sort of assist you need that will help you play the game just like hardcore sim drivers want to play it. That will be done for you too to make sure the game is as accessible as possible. I'm not super hyped up for career mode. I'm not saying career mode is going to be the best. I'm not saying online is going to be the best. I'm not saying you're going to have a ton of these features like sponsorships and teams moving stuff. I'm not talking about any of that. I am just talking about when you plug and play and you just see what you put that car on track. We know that a lot of people can't touch iRacing, but maybe in a few years, if we can keep pushing Motorsport Games to go down this simulation era. I mean, iRacing isn't that great right now. I'm on iRacing. I'm looking at the tire model. It ain't very good at the moment. You never know what can happen. We might get something that it might not be able to touch iRacing, but it's going to get close. And it's going to be something that a lot of console gamers can like. And then the esports of the game is going to go nuts because I know just how good the NASCAR Heat broadcasts are. And I know just how focused Motorsport Games is on esports. That's why the core of the game is the main point. And so this is the confirmation. This is it. We have confirmation that my physics and the core of the game are going to be fixed, and I am just so happy. Oh my god, the relief, you could hear it in my voice. The relief is just so genuine. If there is any more news on the new NASCAR game, which we'll probably get news on the game itself in probably 2 to 3 months, I guess somewhere around there, then maybe even less, maybe a month, maybe 2, I don't know. But we will see then. And hopefully we'll see how it goes. I cannot wait to get my hands on this game and just see the direction that they're going in. If you guys like the video, make sure to like the button. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, comment down below. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram if you're not already. Take care of yourselves. Hopefully you enjoy the rest of your Thursday. I've had a very tiring day, so I'm going to go relax a little bit. Take care of yourselves. Peace out. I'll see you tomorrow. See ya.